on, friends. Today is day 6 of our Joy in Jesus experience. My name is Michelle Primo, and I am so glad that you are here. I value your time, your comments, sharing this journey with others, and it is my deepest desire that you are revived in understanding joy. Are you ready? Are you already beginning to see things from a place of hope? Are you completing the daily call to action? Come on now. You know this will help what we are learning as it really begins to take root in our hearts. Yesterday we talked about joy in our trials. That was a big deal. And today we are going to talk about our weeping at night and the joy that comes in the morning. Let's take a look at Psalm chapter 30, verse 5. And it reads in the NIV version as this: For his anger lasts only a moment, but his favor lasts a lifetime. Weeping may stay for the night, but rejoicing comes in the morning. And another version says joy comes in the morning. Psalm 30 is a psalm of thanksgiving, and it's written by King David, and he's celebrating God's deliverance and healing. And this psalm reflects a time when David faced great adversity, possibly illness or some type of near-death experience, and God intervened to save him. And this verse contrasts the temporary nature of God's discipline or anger with the enduring nature of his favor and mercy. It speaks to God's readiness to forgive and restore, emphasizing that any period of suffering is brief compared to the joy and favor that God provides. And as we look at this particular scripture, family, I want to share some key themes from the scripture. Number one, God's anger versus his favor. God's anger is momentary and it's often linked to his discipline, but his favor is a sign of his enduring grace and love for his people. Number two, the transition from weeping to joy. Just as night inevitably turns to morning, seasons of our sorrow are temporary and will be replaced by joy. And the third observation is hope in times of trouble. King David experienced a lot in his life, but what I admire about him was his reverence for God, his admiration, and hope in the Lord. This verse encourages believers to have hope during trials, trusting that God will bring about restoration and joy. You know, we all really do have seasons of sorrow, but God is our comforter and his joy is complete in us as we remain with him through our faith and believing. And there are 3 things for us to remember and embrace during seasons of sorrow. Number 1, joy is a result of God's grace and favor. In this verse, we're reminded that God's favor is greater and lasts longer than his discipline. His grace turns our mourning into joy. A call to action. Reflect on how God's favor has sustained you through difficult times. Consider writing down moments when God has turned your sorrow into joy. Yeah. Number 2, joy follows a season of weeping. Joy is often birthed from a period of pain or weeping. And this verse reassures us that though we may experience hardships, they are not permanent. And I love Isaiah 61:3 that says this: and provide for those who grieve in Zion, to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. They will be called oaks of righteousness, a planting of the Lord for the display of his splendor. Family, hold on to hope, even in grief. I remember crying hard every day for so long because of grief. But I kept thinking about God's promises. And instead of running from God, I talked to God. I was like, Lord, will I ever get through this? Lord, this is too much to bear. Can you help me? I held on to my faith in God, and I held tight to hope. Without hope, the soul suffers greatly. I prayed that the intensity of this grief I felt would lessen over time, and honestly, it did. I still grieve loss and loved ones and certain losses in my life, but joy fills my heart when I focus on God's love and his favor. I've seen him work powerfully in my life and so many others. So here's a call to action. Embrace the process of transformation during times of sorrow. Hold on to God's promise that joy is coming. Joy is coming. Joy is coming, y'all. Share a testimony of how God brought you through a tough season in your life. Remember how God brought you through a tough season of your life. And remember, joy is rooted in trusting God's timing. The morning signifies a new beginning, a time when God renews his mercies. Trusting in God's timing is key to experience the fullness of his joy. Another call to action. Encourage others to trust in God's perfect timing. Share with a friend or a group how waiting on God has brought you greater joy than you ever expected. Y'all, I pray that you are revived in whatever season you are in now. Every day is a day to rejoice and give thanks. And I believe that we are never fully settled while we're here, because our eternal resting place awaits us in heaven. We are merely passing through. Remember, there is hope now and for our future. And I pray that you are encouraged today to live with joy, to choose joy today, and watch God work his grace in your life. Watch him work comfort. Don't quit too soon. Be patient and persevere through. God will be with you. He'll be with you when the tears are rolling, when you have those sleepless nights, and when you feel like you can't go on. Don't run from God, as I mentioned earlier, but draw close to him. Draw close to the Lord. Cry out to him. Talk to him. You know, David didn't understand some things, and he talked to God. You know, we talk to him not from a place of a demand, putting a demand on God, but it's relational. It's seeking understanding. It's seeking his comfort. It's seeking his peace, and asking him how we should proceed in certain seasons of our life. He wants us to come to him. He hears our prayers. I love you, and I pray that you were encouraged today. This is Michelle Primo, and I will see you tomorrow with day 7 of our 30-day Joy in Jesus experience. Remember that you are purposeful, powerful, and persevering as high-powered men and women in Jesus Christ. I love you, and have an amazing powered up day in joy. I love y'all. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.